going on, you guys? It's your boy Wolfsterrr, and today we're going to be talking about something you guys probably either don't care about, but you'll probably think it's really cool, or I don't know, it might help you, it might not, I don't know. But there's one thing I love to do, and that is travel. Dude, I travel so freaking much. I think I counted last night, and since like 2 years ago, I've been on 32 different airplanes, and since January, I've been in 8 different airports. So I travel so much. I fly all over the place. I fly to Orlando, I fly to Salt Lake City, I fly to Detroit. I've flown a ton. So I've pretty much mastered the art of traveling through an airport and, you know, getting somewhere and going through the art of traveling and flying most efficiently as possible. So I kind of want to pass on my knowledge to you guys and help you guys become experts of navigating airports and flying and stuff like that. Kind of give you guys some tips to help you guys become experts of navigating the airport. So let's start off with tip number 1. This is going to be big because a lot of airliners recommend this tip, but people don't follow it, and this is huge. If you think you live in a small town in the middle of nowhere where you get no air traffic, you think there's going to be no line at the TSA, I don't care. Always show up 2 hours before your flight is supposed to leave at the airport. Why do I say this and why is that so important? You never know. TSA's line could last like all of 2 minutes for you to get through, or it could last an hour. You know, you never know, especially if you live in a big city like Atlanta. Atlanta is the most busiest airport in the world. If you show up like an hour before your flight and it takes an hour to get through TSA, you're out of luck. You're gonna miss your flight. So my recommendation is always get there at least 2 hours beforehand. And then if you get there early and, you know, you breeze right through TSA, take something to do. Tip number 2, take something to do. Like take a book, take a laptop, take your phone. Make sure you got a phone charger if you take your phone. So if you're bored and you got a long time before your flight, you got something to do. Almost all airports now have free Wi-Fi, so if you have your phone or your computer, you can pretty much watch YouTube videos, watch some Netflix, or do something like that. Some airports, the Wi-Fi is not the best, but some pretty good, you know? So just take something to keep you entertained. If you're not an electronic person, take a book, just something. Get you some food, just do something to keep you entertained until your flight leaves. Tip number 3 is get the app. This may sound dumb, but it's actually really good for you guys if you want to travel and kind of get the most out of your flying experience. I tend to fly with Delta. I don't really like American Airlines because I've had some, you know, issues with them in the past. So I tend to fly Delta, but on the occasion I'll fly American Airlines. I know both of them have an app. So download the app for whatever airline you're using. Almost all of them have it. And in the app, you can do some really cool stuff. For example, when I flew to Orlando one time, I flew from South Carolina to Charlotte and then down to Orlando. When I was getting on my plane, or getting ready to get on my plane in Charlotte, I checked the app and saw that there was someone sitting next to me on the plane. So I looked at the seat map and I was able to change my seat to a row that no one was sitting on, like literally 20 minutes before I got on my flight. So I just saved myself from possibly having to sit next to some weirdo that might smell bad and make weird noises throughout the flight because I had the app. I could check and I could switch my seat literally 20 minutes before the flight took off. That's another thing. If you're sitting on a plane and you look and there's like no window seats when you book the flight, go check it right beforehand. If you want a window seat, maybe one opened up, someone canceled. You never know. It's nice to have the app too because it'll give you notifications whenever your flight changes, if there's a different gate, if it gets canceled or delayed. Like, it's just awesome to have the app. It keeps you 100% up to date. Another thing about the app is the app also has your boarding pass on it. So if you're not a fan of carrying around giant pieces of paper that have a scanning code on it, the app has the boarding pass on it. So instead of scanning a piece of paper, just take your phone, place it down, scan that. This is kind of like a subtle tip, and it's not really required, but it helps you get the most out of your trip. Think about where you're traveling to when you pick your seats on a plane. For example, when I flew to Utah last summer, I knew the flight was leaving at night and we're flying west. So I kind of wanted to watch the sunset while we were landing. So I figured the plane's not going to be, it's going to kind of be going straight at the sun, but I'd probably get to see more of the sun if I was sitting on the right side window. So I intentionally chose my seat to be on the right side. So when we took off and we flew to Utah, I got to watch the sunset from my plane, or from the plane, from my seat. This also works when you're going to places like the beach or whatever. If I flew down to Orlando, when I'm flying from South Carolina to Orlando, the ocean is on my left side. So again, I might choose a left window seat to watch out and look over the ocean, see the pretty ocean. This could also work in your favor. Like, let's say, you know, it's early in the morning, the sun's rising on the East Coast. If I'm flying from South Carolina to Detroit and I don't want the bright, blistering sun shining in my window on my face, even though you have a seat shade, you know, the guy in front of you might not pull down his. Choose to sit on the left side of the plane, so then the light is not all up in your face. May not be, you know, perfect, but it just kind of helps you kind of get the most out of your flight. Kind of like help you avoid things that you might not like. Just make it better. All right, this is not a required tip. Again, it's a personal preference. If you absolutely don't have to check a bag, don't check a bag. The likelihood of airports losing your bag is pretty high. I mean, it hasn't happened to me yet, but you never want to really take that risk. You'd rather be safe and kind of have your stuff with you. Almost all airlines except budget airlines, I think budget airlines will start to charge you for this, but like Delta and American, all the big major airlines, you get a backpack and then you can take a carry-on bag. So like a carry-on bag, I gotta find mine. This is like a backpack. So this would be like my carry-on backpack, or like personal item, I should say. This is your personal item. So I could take this on for free. And then also something like this would be your carry-on. So you can fit this in the overhead bin. It's just like a little track bag. Or if you have, I just threw my bag over there. Or if you have like one of those smaller suitcases, those are the carry-on bags. I'd say if you can, take the carry-on over a checked bag and try to avoid checking unless you absolutely have to. One, checking costs money and you don't really want to pay that extra money unless you absolutely have to. Two, you have the risk of waiting or the bag getting lost. You never know, it could get lost, especially if you're having multiple stops on your flight. And then three, when you get to your final destination, if you don't have a checked bag, you can walk on out. You're good to go. But if you have a checked bag, you gotta go wait over there by the turntable. You gotta wait forever for your bag to come, and it might take forever, who knows. But if you really just want to get on out of there and just kind of get on with your vacation or whatever you're gonna do, take a carry-on bag. This is more of a pet peeve than a tip, but when you get on the plane and you're coming to your seat, go to your seat like as quickly as possible. Put your stuff in the bin and then get out of the aisle. Sit in the, like, even just scoot in the seat. If you're still trying to like adjust your bag or maybe get something out of it, just get in the row so you're not in the aisle blocking people in. This will make things easier for the flight attendants, and it'll make it easier for your flight to actually leave on time, because it is the biggest pet peeve of mine when I'm getting on a plane and I have to stand in the jetway because some old lady is taking forever to get to her seat. I'm sorry, that was mean, old lady. Let me rephrase that. It is my biggest pet peeve when I'm standing in a jetway and some middle-aged man who is perfectly in physical health is standing in the middle of the aisle, taking his sweet time and blocking everybody else from getting to their seat. So if you can, get to your seat as quickly as possible. I know that sounds stupid and cliche, but it seriously, it makes your plane leave earlier, okay? And don't you want to get there early, on time? And the final tip I'm going to share with you guys, I probably should have shared this earlier in the video, but I'm going to say it anyway. Really pay attention to what you pack when you go through TSA. Because if you're spending your whole time getting triple scanned, triple checked, and they have to rescan your bag and stuff like that, it's going to waste time, man. You don't know how long the line could be. So really just pay attention to what you pack. Go read the TSA guidelines. Make sure you're not packing anything stupid. Make sure you have like the required size for like liquids and stuff like that. I don't know what the whole restrictions are because I've never had a problem with it. But just really don't argue with them. Don't get all upset. Literally just do exactly what they say. Just get it over with and go on. Those people don't want to be sitting there doing all the pat down stuff that you guys want. Those people don't want to be doing those pat downs as much as you guys don't want them. So really just go with the flow, make life easy for them, and they'll make life easy for you. Just be smart and pack the right things and pay attention to your sizes and stuff like that. Like, be proactive, be ready for what they're gonna tell you. Like, the big things to know is you gotta take your shoes off. If you have a belt on, you're probably gonna have to take that off. Any type of metal on you gotta take that off, put it in a separate bin. Laptops have to go in a separate bin. They can't go in the bag. You gotta take them out of your bag. Just stuff like that. Just be ready to when you go through the line, you're not gonna be sitting there holding up the whole line, you know, trying to figure stuff out or learn what you're supposed to do. Just know ahead of time what you're supposed to do. Man, I'm sure I could come up with 50 million more tips, but those are like my big tips for you guys. Dude, I love to fly. I know some people don't like to fly, but I really do like to fly. It's annoying when you have delays and stuff like that, but just the feeling of being in the air and flying across the country at like 400, 500 miles an hour is the coolest thing ever. So I hope these tips kind of helped you guys. If you guys want me to talk about other stuff like I've done like this, kind of give you guys some more tips and advice, let me know. I'll make more videos like this. I'm flying to Utah in August, hopefully make a vlog and talk about some more tips after that. I'll let you guys know, but I hope you guys have a great day. And if you enjoyed this video, drop a fat thumbs up. If you want me to make more, let me know. Give me suggestions, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace out.